I wonder who's more divided. BBC host snaps at Diane Abbott over Labour three-way split. Speaking on BBC Any Questions? The shadow Foreign Secretary claimed the Tory Brexit negotiating position was a shambles and accused Prime Minister Theresa May of making clashing promises to both Remainers and Brexiteers in her party. Ms Abbott said, "It has been a very strange situation which hopefully Robert Buckland, the Tory Solicitor General on the panel, can illuminate. We had some highly contentious and difficult votes on Brexit last week, and in order to avoid being defeated, it would appear that Theresa May has promised one thing to people that support Brexit and another thing to Remainers leggy Ken Clarke. Now how this gets resolved maybe only Rob Buckland can tell us, but the truth is we have no white paper on the government's negotiating position, which they promised us for some time, and they have a very important meeting with EU partners at the end of this month. This is a difficult issue for both parties, but there's no question that the Tory position on Brexit at the moment is a shambles. It is a disservice to the people of Britain and in particular to the people of Northern Ireland. You will have heard Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson talking about the border, saying that talk about the effects of Brexit on the Irish border was the tail wagging the dog, which shows you how much the Tories care about Northern Ireland. But BBC host Shaun Ley snapped back at the Labour frontbencher and reminded her of the very divided three-way Brexit stance on the single market membership in the Labour Party. Mr Ley said, "You alluded to the difficulties for both major parties. Your party is split three ways in the EU amendment on whether or not the UK should remain part of the European Economic Area once it leaves the EU. I mean, 90 Labour MPs rebelled against the leadership line. 71 voting one way and 15 the other, roughly that proportion. But on the Conservative side, it was only 3 MPs who voted against the government. I wonder who's more divided." On Wednesday, Jeremy Corbyn's frontbench was rocked by 6 resignations after his plot to keep Britain inside the EU's single market was thrown out of Parliament. Shadow Minister Laura Smith, a Remainer, led the dramatic exodus from Jeremy Corbyn's top team in protest of his stance on Brexit. The MP, who represents a Leave voting area, was followed by Ged Killen, Ellie Reeves, Tonia Antoniazzi, Anam Cameron and Rosie Duffield. They quit moments before voting on an amendment to the EU withdrawal bill pushing to keep Britain in the European Economic Area, (E). The Lords' amendment would have forced the government to prioritise a new deal, the so-called Norway model, in negotiations with the EU.